Tennessee Congressman Marsha Blackburn. Congressman, good to see you. Trump
You
supporters, Kellyanne Conway is certainly voicing concerns from hardcore Trump supporters after Mitt Romney publicly attacked the president-elect during really the entire election season. Should Trump select a loyal supporter or the best man for the job?
Well, Donald Trump is going to choose the best person for that job. And what Kellyanne, I think, is relaying there are the messages that she is getting. They're messages that I'm getting. And many people who felt like the comments that Mitt Romney made were not helpful to the party as a whole. And that when you support the party, you support their nominee. And Dagan, I got to tell you, through the years, there have been a lot of people, whether I was a county party chairman or in elective office, that I said, that wouldn't be my first choice. But it's who the people selected. So you roll up your sleeves, you get to work, and you help them win that race.
Who would you like to see in that job, Congresswoman? Secretary of State?
I want to see in that job the person that is going to be most effective in helping Mr. Trump and Mr. Pence push a national security agenda to increase our standing in the world, to make certain that we are safe at home and abroad. And, you know, I've got a major military post. I spend a lot of time with those military families. They understand the importance of a solid nexus between what we look at as our Department of State and our foreign affairs, and then also our military presence. Those two have to work hand in hand. So you have to have a Secretary of State and a Secretary of Defense that are going to be on the same page with the President and are going to work toward achieving that end. We know one of those goals is defeating ISIS, defeating these terrorist networks. We also know that you have the utilization of trade and the protection of those trade routes from the military. And then part of that also, again, interfaces with the State Department. So it is all related. I think we need to just trust Mr. Trump's judgment on this. We trusted him through the campaign. Somebody may not be our first or second or third choice, but we have to make certain this is a solid team that is going to get the job done for the American people.
Good morning, Congressman. As Dagan was saying, you're the panel's favorite congresswoman. We love having you.
I like hearing that.
We do. We all love you. I think one of the reasons, and I want to get your take on this, it almost, in some ways, it matters who's in the job, but it's Secretary of State, but it's also incredibly important what the president's policies are. I think part of the problem that Secretary Kerry has had in negotiating in Syria and in Iran and elsewhere is that there's no credible use of force to back him up. So he goes to the negotiating table with the Russians over the Syria deal or anywhere else in the world, and no one believes that the administration is going to do anything. So while I think it's important that we have a strong Secretary of State, don't you also think it's incredibly important to have a president that's going to back up whoever he puts in that position?
Absolutely, and that's why you have that related nature of your diplomacy and your military and the administration, and you have to have someone that is in concert. And Morgan, you've heard me say more than once, you lead people and you manage assets. This comes under that quadrant of leading people and having that clearly defined mission and what you want to accomplish for the country. Now, let's look at it again from the defense angle. What you want to make certain that you do is have your mission understood by your troops so that they know what is their mission that they are to be fulfilling. We have had problems with, you know, you've got people that are the commanders in the field, and then you've got the administration, and then you've got Congress, and not everybody's been on the same page there. So this is why I think Mr. Trump is going to choose someone who will be a significant part of that team, who will work with him to send that right message. Clear, concise.
Congresswoman, you're part of the Trump transition team. You also serve as the vice chair of the House Energy and Commerce Committee. Has Mr. Trump approached you about a position in the administration, Secretary of Commerce, something like that?
I have not been approached about anything in the administration, and I think one of the things that is important is for individuals to work where they can be most productive. And different personality types, different skill sets are going to flourish in different arenas. I like legislating. I like focusing on reducing the size and the scope and the cost of government. That's kind of my mission, you know, and I think that now we have an opportunity to really get things done. And I've worked on that across state line purchase of health insurance bill for 7 years. And I think finally,
Right.
we're going to get it across the finish line.
Right. You're not going anywhere. You're like, I've been here for this. I'm waiting to the end. Congresswoman, great to see you. Marsha Blackburn.
Good to see you. Thank you.
From the fine state of Tennessee.